Hey everybody, today we're going to show you how to find all 240 Seekers tokens here in Dragon's Dogma 2. I highly recommend using either the Mage or the Sorcerer vocation so that you have Levitate, as you're going to need to use Levitate to get to a lot of these tokens. It will make your life 1,000 times easier. But yeah, let's jump into it. So we're going to start towards the top of the map, and as we zoom in here, you guys will see our first location is going to be found by a statue right at the end of this little path. When you make it up top, you're going to find this statue overlooking the whole world. All you need to do is work your way behind the statue, and your first token is going to be on the ground right here. Our second location is going to be found just a little bit further south, and this one's going to be in a Harpy's nest. If you make your way to where we have our marker here, you guys will see this is what it's going to look like. You're just going to want to go up on top of the rocks. You will find the Harpy's nest right here, and inside you will find your second Seeker token. Our third location is going to be found just next to a campsite up here. As we zoom in, you guys will see that campsite's going to be right here. This token is going to be found on the edge down by the water. So we're standing on the bridge facing the campsite. If you come over here to the right side, you can actually drop down and you can already see it. It's going to be right here. So you can jump off the ledge here, and right here is going to be your third Seeker's token. Our fourth token is going to be found in another Harpy's nest. You guys can see the location here on our screen. We're going to be on top of this hill here. And once you make it up here, you're going to find a goblin camp. And you'll have to take out some goblins up here. And once you do, you can come right over here. There's going to be several nests. The token's going to be the one all the way up top. So you can see right over here. This is going to be where your next token is. Our fifth token is another one that's going to be found down by the water. As we zoom in on our map, you want to make your way right here on this path. And once you get here overlooking the village ahead, you'll see there's a small path that leads down towards the water. Just follow that path all the way down here to the bottom. And once you get all the way down here, you will end up finding the Seeker token right here. Number 6 is going to be found over by the water. As we zoom in here, you guys will see the exact location of the token, but to get to it, you want to start from just up a little bit further north. Along this main path, you can just work your way south. This is what it's going to look like, and we need to jump across to the other side. So we can go ahead and jump down. Be really careful not to fall down into the water right here, and then we can jump across to the other side, where all we're going to do is climb up to the top here. And once you're up top, you'll see a chest way down here on the end. You can open this chest, and just off the edge on this rock right here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 7 is going to be found inside the abandoned hut just south of the Mountain Secrets Cave. You guys can see that location right here on your map. If you haven't already been up here, the way to do it is you want to come way up here and follow this path. That will lead you into this cave, and as you work your way through that cave, you'll come out on this side and you'll be able to make it to the abandoned hut. But once you make it up here, all you need to do is go inside the front door, and back here on the left is going to be your next token. Number 8 is going to be found inside of the Borderwatch outpost. This one's going to be found on a rooftop on top of the Borderwatch commissary. So you guys can see that location here. This is what it's going to look like when you get over here. All you need to do is come over here to the right side. You can jump up on this thing, onto the tent, and onto the roof. And then we're going to just jump over to this roof, and all the way on the end right here, you will find your next token. Number 9 is going to be found in front of a tombstone. As we zoom into the exact location, it's going to be up on this hill just off the main path. If you don't know how to get up here, when you come over to this location, you'll see right over there, there's going to be a hole in the side of the mountain. You can just jump into that hole and work your way around, and you'll come out on this side, and you'll be able to jump down. And there's going to be a tombstone right here, and right in front of that tombstone is going to be your next token. Number 10 is going to be found on top of some stone pillars right over here on our map. It's going to be just east of the Gathering of Beasts marker. And once you get over here, what you're going to do is face this door, and then you want to climb up on top of the stones. We're then going to jump across towards the door, and then we're going to turn right and jump over to this section over here. So you can run and jump, grab on, and right up here on the ledge is going to be your next token. Number 11 is a really painful one to get to if you can't hover. We'll show you the exact location. It's going to be just north of Gathering of Beasts. You guys can see where I'm standing. Right over here, there's going to be a chest, and I'm pretty sure it's impossible to climb up right here. But once you're up here, what you're going to do is run right back here in the corner, and you're going to find the Seeker token right here. If you're not able to hover or fly, like if you're like me and you have the fighter vocation, it seems to me the only thing you're going to be able to do is come all the way down here, and you're going to find a broken tree. and you're pretty much just going to have to glitch climb your way up top. So I pretty much just climbed up on these rocks and got up on this tree, and I just climbed up right here and then went around. This is a real hassle if you can't hover or fly. So I don't recommend using the fighter vocation for this one. Number 12 is going to be found over by the exit to the Cavern of the Forsaken. As we zoom in here, you'll see that right here. It's going to be found up top where the ladder is, and it's going to be right here on the ground. So you'll see it right next to the ladder. If you don't have levitate, the only way to get up here is going to be to go to the entrance of the Cavern of the Forsaken, which is right down here. You can go inside and work your way through the cavern, and you'll come out on this side. You can put the ladder down so that you can climb up on this side for future, but you'll be able to pick up the token right here. Number 13 is going to be really close to our last one. This one's going to be on the edge of a cliff, so you can just place a marker right around where we have this one. And if you work your way up here off the main path, you guys will see where the giant drop off is down into the water. You can just drop all the way down onto these rocks, and you'll find the Seeker's token right here. Number 14 is another one that's going to be found near the water. As we zoom in here, you guys will see the exact location of it. We're going to start right over here by the campsite. You guys can see the bridge right here in front of us. All you're going to do is go to the left and work your way down by the water. Just be really careful. It's going to be right down here on the edge. So you can drop down and you'll be able to pick up your next one. Our next location is pretty easy to find. This one's going to be over by the Mount Alice tunnel, or Alice, however you pronounce this. Be right at the end of this little path right here. And once you get out here, you'll see there's actually a small little corner that you can walk back into. I'll turn around, just kind of show you guys the area, but you just climb your way up here and then go all the way into the back of this corner, and on the ground, you'll be able to find your next token. Number 16 is extremely close to our last one. For this one, we're actually going to be up on top of the hill at the same place next to the tunnel here. You can see if I turn around, you just got to climb up right over here on top of these rocks and just walk around like you're going to go into the cavern, except instead of going into the cavern, we're going to come all the way over here to this statue that's right in front of the waterfall. The token is going to be found right here behind the statue. Number 17 is going to be found at the bottom of a slide. As we zoom in here on the map, you just want to follow this small little path right here all the way to the end. You can see the slide right here on your map. This is what it's going to look like in game. At the bottom of the slide, there's going to be a rock right here to your left. The token is going to be found right up here on this rock. Number 18 is going to be found on top of a small cliff. As we zoom in here, you guys are going to see this really small path that leads to a campsite. Now we're going to start by looking at the campsite. If you turn around, you can come right over here on the right side, and we're going to climb up on these rocks. So you can climb up on the top here, and once you make it to the top, you'll find your next seeker token right here. Number 19 is going to be found in a hidden basement in some ruins. As we zoom into the map here, you'll see on your map pretty clearly there is a structure here. These are going to be some ruins. If you go in the front door, we're then going to take a right and go out to the back side. And on the back side, if you go around the corner, there's going to be an entrance right over here. There's going to be several boxes you can destroy, and you're going to find a ladder that goes down to the next level. As soon as you drop down, immediately turn around. You're going to have small boxes directly behind you. If you destroy those boxes underneath them, you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Our next location is a little difficult to get to. We'll show you the exact spot with our marker here. It's going to be just off the path, but it's up on a hill, and the only way to get there if you don't have levitate is to jump across the path from the campsite. So we're over here at this campsite. You can see we're looking at it currently. What you're going to do is go to the left and follow this little path around the side. You can actually make it to the back side here, and you will find the seeker token directly across. You can see it sitting right there on that rock in front of us. However, to be able to get over there, we need to make the jump, and this can be quite annoying. I'm going to try to do it for the video. Let's see if this works. But you're just going to run and jump and hope you make it, and we didn't make it. So there you go. But that's where it's going to be found, up on that hill. Number 21 is going to be found on top of a broken archway. As we zoom in on the map here, you'll see the location. We're going to be just a little bit further north, just so we can show you the archway right here in front of us. You can see it's only about halfway across. What you want to do is come over here to the right. We can climb up on these rocks, and that's how we're going to be able to get up there. We'll come all the way over here, We'll work our way up the archway, and at the top, you guys will see our seeker token is going to be right here on top. Our next location is going to be found along the pathway here. It's going to be pretty close to a Riftstone right here. And this one's going to be at another broken archway. You are going to need the levitate ability to get to this one, which is honestly, in my opinion, kind of lame, but whatever. It's going to be on top of this broken archway right here. I'll show you guys where it's at. If you come over here to the right, you can actually climb up on this. And I was kind of hoping that they would allow you to jump across, but apparently not. If you come all the way around here, you'll see it's literally on the corner right over there on the left side. You can just see it right there on the left corner, but you're not able to make the jump from here. So you're going to have the levitate to be able to fly up there, which is kind of lame, but whatever. I've tried to make this jump like 40 times for this video. It just never works out, but that's where the next one's going to be. Number 23 is actually much easier to get to. This one's going to be found at our marker right here. You can see if you make your way right here to where the fork in the pathway is, it's going to be super easy to climb up. All we're going to do is come right over here. Before you get to the bridge, you can take a left and go right up on these rocks. And right here in the middle of these rocks, you'll be able to find your next token. Number 24 is also pretty easy to find. This one's going to be found right on the edge of a cliff. As we zoom into our exact location, it's going to be just north of this little pathway that ends. You can place a marker here and make your way to this path. All you're going to do is head towards that marker. There's going to be a giant fall off here, but right before you fall off, just walk out on the edge here and you will find your next token right here. Number 25 is going to be found pretty close to our last one. As we zoom in here, you'll see our markers where it's going to be found. If you come right over here on this pathway where we are currently standing, all you're going to do is come up on top of these rocks directly in front of us, just off the path, and take a left and just climb up, and you'll see on one of these rocks right here in this corner is going to be our next seeker's token. Number 26 is going to be found literally right next to our last one. As we zoom in here, we'll show you on the map where it's going to be found, but it's going to be near a giant statue. It's right around where this marker is. We're again on this small little path here, and you'll see you just got to keep climbing up the rocks. It's not too high off the ground, but you just want to work your way up to that statue, and that's where you're going to find the next one. So for the sake of the video, we'll go ahead and climb up here. And once you're up top, just work your way around the back, and you'll find the token right here. Number 27 is going to be found at the exit of Spirit's Path. So as we zoom in here, you guys will see the entrance to Spirit's Path is going to be right up here, just off the main path. You can go inside. It's a very short walk once you're inside to the exit. You can see this is what it's going to look like. When you go to leave, this is going to be just a small plateau overlooking the water. Just turn to your left and you'll find the token right over here on this rock. Number 28 is found east of the Spirit's Path. As we zoom in, you'll see it's going to be just south of this bridge and west of the campsite, right around where our marker is. You can see we're going to be up top on the hill. There's the bridge in front of us. The token's going to be on this rock. To get up here, all you need to do is come around. You'll be able to climb up right over here. You can just climb all the way up and then work your way back this direction over toward the bridge. And right here on the very edge, you will find the next Seeker's token. Number 29 is a little tricky to get to. We're going to show you the exact location. It'll be down here in the mountains, pretty close to our last location. If you put a marker down and just work your way over here, you'll see it'll be pretty easy to spot. You're going to be able to get up top on these rocks. There's even a statue as well as a treasure chest on your map. What you want to do is come over to the left side. If you don't have levitate, you can see the grapes directly above me here. We're going to climb up on the grass and just climb our way up to the grapes. Once we're at the grapes, we're going to run and jump across a couple times until we're here. You just got to run and jump and just spam jump a couple times and eventually you'll make it across. You can see now we're over here. And the Seeker's token is actually going to be as soon as you make it across. So you'll see it actually right here below where we just jumped across on this rock. So you can drop down and go ahead and pick that one up. Number 30 is going to be found out on a dock. As we zoom in here, you'll see all you need to do is follow this little small windy path all the way down toward the water. And there's going to be a dock right here where our marker is. This token is going to be found in a little basket. So right when you walk onto the dock, look down to your left, and inside of this basket is going to be your next Seeker's token. Number 31 is going to be found down near the little pond next to the Nameless village. As we zoom in here, you can see the exact location. We're going to start from over here to kind of show you how to get there. Here is the fence at the Nameless village. All you're going to do is work your way around the side and up the rocks to go all the way to the end as far as you can go. And right down here by the water, you'll find your next token on this rock. Number 32 is going to be found at the Nameless village, and this is going to be on a rooftop of a specific building. If we go to the local map here, you guys will see it's going to be on top of the Old Noble Manor, which is on the northern side of the village. There's a couple different ways to get up here. It is a little tricky. We're going to be using the Sorcerer and Levitate. There's going to be a hole in the ceiling here and you want to get up there, but if you just levitate from here, you're not able to do so. So what I recommend doing is levitating on this chimney. But once you make it up on the fireplace, you kind of want to just run and jump and levitate. So we'll just kind of go this way. You'll hit the levitate button and you'll be able to turn around and actually make it up here. It's a little tricky, may take you a few tries, but once you make it up here, you guys will see the next token is going to be right over here in the corner. Number 33 is also going to be found in the Nameless village. This one's going to be to the east of the manor that we were just at. It's going to be over here by the water on this cliffside. You can see where we're standing. We can see the waterfall over here. But all you're going to do is come over here to these rocks and you're going to see it on the edge. So it's going to be right here on this rock where there's a bunch of stones. We'll go up a little bit higher here so we can actually grab it. When you drop down onto this rock right here, you'll be able to pick it up. You can see there's some actual buildings that are right here below us. Number 34 is just west of the Nameless village. As we zoom in, you're going to see we're going to be on a little cliffside down by the water here, right around where our marker is. And once you get down here facing the waterfall on the right side, you'll see right over here in this corner is going to be our next token. Number 35 is on a boulder northwest of the Nameless village. As we zoom in here, you guys are going to see there's a campsite out here. So you can just make your way to this campsite. And facing the fire, we want to climb up on this boulder to the right. You come right over here on this boulder. Right here, you'll be able to find your next token. Number 36 is going to be found on a boulder behind a Riftstone. As we zoom in on our map here, you guys will see it's pretty easy to get out here. If you just make your way over to this path, you can kind of just bail off the path and just come out here to where the Riftstone is. You'll find that right here. And once you're out here, you want to be careful. There's going to be a drake that hangs out in this area. But behind the Riftstone on the rock, you'll be able to get your next token. Our next token is going to be found at the ruined settlement. As we zoom into this one, you guys can see right here is the ruined settlement. It's going to be inside of this house right here that we have our marker on. When you get over here, you just need to run inside the house and you're going to take a right. It'll be easy to spot as it's just going to be lying right here in the floor. Number 38 is going to be found just northeast of Vernworth. This one's going to be found in a Harpy nest. It's right around this location here. It's on top of a mountain. To get up here, I had to use levitate right over here towards this pathway, and then you just climb up on the mountain and you can make it down to where our marker is. But you'll find it pretty easily once you get over here. There's one nest. It's right here, and inside is going to be your next token. Number 39 is going to be found pretty close by. If you zoom into this area on your map, you're going to see two really small docks that go out into the water right here. And it's going to be found right beside them. So facing the docks, if you come over here to the right side, all the way down right next to the water, you'll be able to find your next token. Number 40 is also going to be found really close by. This one's going to be on a small rock that's in the middle of the river. So right where our marker is, there's going to be a rock right here. It's pretty close to this campsite, and I believe you have to get to it from this side, from the southern side. But you can see once you get down here, we're on the edge, and that small rock out in the water. Going to run and jump across to the rock, and right here is going to be your next token. Number 41 is going to be found just north of Vernworth on the broken bridge going out over the water. You can see our exact location here. If you just start from the northern side, I use levitate. I believe you can make the jump, but you just want to come all the way out here. This is what it's going to look like. We're not too far away from land up top, but once you get out here to where it's really split in half, you'll find the token right here on the edge. Number 42 is north of Vernworth, pretty close to our last one. This one's going to be found on a giant rock down by the water. So you can see exactly where our marker is here. And you'll see it's going to be on this giant rock right here in front of us. So you can just jump your way across. You can climb up on the edge here and you'll find your next token right here. Number 43 is found in the middle of a field just north of Vernworth. We'll show you the exact location here on your map. This one's just a little tricky to find. As once you get out here, I'll kind of just look around so you can see kind of where we're standing, but it's going to be just out here in the middle of the field. You can see it on the ground right here in front of me. So you can go ahead and pick that one up and that'll be your next token. Number 44 is going to be just outside the north wall of Vernworth. As we zoom in, you'll see we're going to be right in the middle of this wall here. And again, it's going to be on the outside of the wall, so not inside the city. You You can see the bridge to get in right in front of us. You're going to find it in a corner right over here. So you go ahead and pick that up, and that will be your next token. Number 45 is going to be found in the fountain that's directly in the center of the merchant quarter here in Vernworth. So literally right in the middle when you make it to the giant fountain, you just go to the left side right over here in the water. You will be able to find your next token. Number 46 is also here in Vernworth. This one's going to be on top of the Grand Riftstone of Vermund building that you can see marked on your map. You can get here by climbing up on top of Shakir's Inn. You just go to the second floor and there's going to be a ladder. You can climb up on the roof. We'll show you. You're going to come out like right here and you'll climb that ladder, and then you can just jump across or fly your way across. And then right up here in the top of this building, you're going to have 3 chests, but you're also going to have your next Seeker's token right here in the middle. Number 47 is going to be found on the southern side of Vernworth. This is going to be just behind the Charnel house. You can see where our marker is. It's going to be outside. Once you make your way back here, this is what it's going to look like. And there's going to be this little stepping stone stairs that you can go up with a hole. And if you look down in that hole, you can drop down and pick up your next Seeker's token. Number 48 is found right next to our last one. This one's just a little bit further south in Vernworth on top of the Baldwin's estate. To get to this one, all you need to do is go to the second floor balcony. And when you get to the balcony, you can just jump up or fly up to the roof right here and just climb your way up. But once you make it to the very top of the roof, if you just come over all the way to the left side, you'll find your next Seeker's token right over here. Number 49 is on the eastern side of the Vernworth Castle walls. As we zoom in, you'll see our marker is going to be on the walls right in between these 2 circles. Just make your way out here into the gardens area, which you can see right here, and then you can just climb up. And once you're up on this little ledge, you will find your next token right here. Number 50 is on the southwestern side of the Vernworth Castle. This one's going to be outside the walls, so just make your way to this location. You can fly or jump up over here. You want to go just outside the wall. This is what it's going to look like once you get out here. Pretty incredible view, by the way. But once you're over here, you will see right on the ledge here, be really careful, is going to be your next token. Number 51 is a little tricky to get to. This is going to be on the western side of the Vernworth Castle on top of this building right here. The building just north right here is the Borderwatch. You want to come to the edge of the wall to get up here. And we're going to use levitate. You can see this giant wall here. We're going to climb up on this thing and we're going to fly across toward the Borderwatch and land on the roof. So if we use levitate right here, we can go to the left and we can land up on this roof. We're then going to go to the top. We'll turn around and we're going to use levitate once again to get on top of this thing. We'll fly across just like this. And then once we're up here, we can just hop up on the top and then fly our way across. So pretty easy to get up here going from that direction. And then once you're up here, just come over here to the right side, and right over here on the roof is going to be your next token. Our next location is also here in Vernworth. This one's going to be on top of the Rose Chateau Bordelry. So we're going to get up here the exact same way we just showed you how to get up on the last one. This one will be on this rooftop, and it's going to be found in the chimney. So there's going to be 2 over here, and you'll see on the edge of the one closest to the water is going to be where we can find our next Seeker's token. Number 53 is also here in Vernworth. This one's going to be found in a fountain just to the left of the Townsend's estate. Right where our marker is, there's going to be a giant fountain, and you'll see this is what it's going to look like. The token's going to be found in the very top of this thing. So when you walk up to it, you're going to have to go all the way up to the top. You can use levitate. I believe you can also just climb your way up here, but you will see it right here inside. You can go and pick that up, and that'll be your next one. Our next location is going to be found at a statue that's right over here next to the northwestern entrance to Vernworth. You can see our marker here. This is going to be the long bridge, and you can see that bridge right here. If you come just to the right and look down off the ledge, there's a statue. You can drop down to where that statue is, and you'll notice here on your screen once we get up from falling too far that our next token is going to be found on the ground right here behind the statue. Our next token is also going to be found on the northwestern side of Vernworth. This one's going to be on top of the guard tower right here above the bridge to leave. Getting up here isn't too hard at all. All you need to do is go through the gate on the back side, and you can climb up on the wall, and you can see where my main pawn is. You just jump down on that and run your way across, and you can climb up right here. And once you make it to the top of the tower, you'll see over here on the corner is going to be our next token. Number 56 is going to be just northwest of Vernworth. This is going to be just before you cross the bridge to get into the city. If you come right down here at the bottom, right by the water, there's some rocky beach area down here you can see. And on the rocks in the corner, really close to the bridge here, if you climb up, you'll be able to find your next Seeker's Token. Number 57 is on a giant boulder just northwest of Vernworth. You can see our location marked on the map. To get up here, what you want to do is go inside this building right here, this structure, and go to the second floor. And from the second floor balcony, you can jump across. You can see that we're on the balcony now, and you can either fly across or you can run and jump across right here. Either way, you just need to get on top of this giant boulder. But once you make it over here, you will find your next Seeker's Token. Number 58 is going to be found over here down by the water. You guys can see our location. There's actually a really small cavern that's not named on the map that you just walk through. You'll make it to the edge and you'll see there's a lot of room down here when you come out of the really small cavern. But once you get down here, you'll see this one pretty easily. It's going to be all the way over here on the left side. Go ahead and pick that up and that'll be your next token. Number 59 is just northeast of Harve village. This one's also going to be down by the water on top of a giant rock right where our marker is. Once you get down here, you'll see the giant rock pretty easily. You can even see the token from here. You can actually just run and climb your way up to the top here. But if you have levitate, it does make it a little bit easier to get up to the top. But once you get up here, you'll see our token right here below us. Number 60 is going to be found in Harve village. This one's going to be at the very top of the old lighthouse. That's going to be located right where our marker is here. Just go inside, climb all the way to the top, and once you're up here, you'll see it across from us on the stone over there. This one's a little tricky to get to without falling down. It may take you a couple tries, but if you have levitate, you can just levitate over it and drop down, and you'll be able to pick it up right here where we are standing. Number 61 is just north of Harve village. This one's going to be at the top of a waterfall right here at the river. So you can see where our marker's at. And this is going to be the waterfall. You can see the town over there. At the top of the waterfall, if you just go down here into the water, you'll see the token right below these sticks. So you can go ahead and pick that one up and get your next one. Number 62 is on top of a pillar that's just north of Harve village. What you want to do is make your way on top of this mountain, just following this small path. Once you get up here, right around where our marker is, there's going to be a couple pillars. One that's really, really tall right when you get up here. You just need to climb up the side of the mountain here. And once you get on the top, you can jump or levitate your way across. You just land on this pillar, and right here, you'll be able to pick up your next token. Number 63 is going to be found over at the northern Harve ruins. You do want to be careful in this area as there is a drake that hangs out over here. But it's going to be found on top of one of the stone walls. You can see we've already climbed up. It's going to be right here in front of us facing the village. So we can go ahead and use levitate, or you can just jump your way across. But once you're up here, you'll be able to pick up your next token. Number 64 is another one that's going to be found down by the water. As we zoom in here, just make your way over to where this marker is. Once you get down here, you will find a rowboat as well as a chest down here on the edge of the water. And your token is going to be found right in front of the rowboat. So you go ahead and pick that up, and that'll be your next one. Number 65 is going to be on a cliffside that's overlooking the water. As we zoom in to this one, just make your way over to this marker location. And you'll see this is what it's going to look like. There's going to be one little plant on this small little drop down area, and you can actually drop down, and right behind that plant, you go around it, right on the edge is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's Token. Number 66 is going to be found down by a really small dock at the water's edge. You can see our exact location on your map, and you'll find it pretty easily once you get down here. It's just a small dock, and the token's easy to spot. It's just going to be on the very end of that dock. So you can go ahead and pick that up, and that'll be your next one. Number 67 is found on the roof of a small shack at the very end of this small little pathway. You can see here, if you just follow this up to the end, there's going to be one small shack up here, and you can just jump up on it from the back side. But once you're up here, you will be able to find your next Seeker's Token. Number 68 is also on top of a small wooden building. This one is going to be found at the end of this small path. And once you get up here, it'll be pretty easy. You can jump up on the tent here or on the cart on the back side, and then you can get up on the roof. But once you're up here, again, you will find your next token. Number 69 is found really close by. This one's going to be just on the other side of the river. It's going to be right down here on the shoreline on top of a rock. So you just place a marker here. You'll see when you get down here, all we're going to do is go to this corner. On this rock, you'll be able to find your next token. Number 70 is going to be found at another statue that's at this location that we have marked on your map, just northeast of the little campsite here. And once you make it up on the cliffside, just come over here to the front side of the statue and you'll find your next token. Number 71 is going to be found right in front of the collapsed mine by this little pond here. You can see our location. There's going to be a little abandoned hut down here, and we're going to be up on the cliffside. It's really easy to get up here. You can just climb your way on the back side over here. But once you get up here, you're going to find a ladder that kind of leads up the cliff. At the bottom of the first ladder, we're just going to take a left and go all the way down here to the edge. When you get over here to the edge right here on this rock is going to be your next token. Number 72 is going to be found on a cliffside. This one's a little tricky to get to, but you can see our location here on the map. We're going to be just northwest of this campfire. Just make your way on top of the cliff right around where you see our marker. This is what it's going to look like once you get up here. It's not too difficult getting up here, but the token is directly below us. So you want to be careful while you're dropping down here. You don't want to take too much damage or fall too far or fall all the way to the bottom. If you have levitate, this does make this a little bit easier, but once you get over here, you'll be able to get your next token. Our next token is going to be found literally right beneath our last token. If we zoom in on the map here, you'll see we're right at the end of this river, and there's going to be a Riftstone back here, Riftstone of the Straight Ford. And you'll see this is what it looks like when you get down here. Here's the Riftstone, and your token's going to be found just to the right. So right over here in the corner, and that'll be your next one. Number 74 is going to be found on the eastern side of the entrance to the Tro Mine. You can see our marker here. Here is the mine location. And once you're up here, there's going to be a chest on this rock. I mean, it's pretty clear to see, and all you got to do is climb up here. It's not too difficult to get to at all. But once you're up here, you'll see on this rock is going to be your next Seeker's token. Our next location is on a cliffside just north of the Tro Mine. This one's a little difficult to find, but it's going to be right around where our marker is on the side of this mountain. Now, the way to get up here is you want to head north up here by the campsite. There's going to be an abandoned village up here with scaffolding. You're going to need levitate. You can levitate on top of the scaffolding and make it up on top of the mountain, and then just follow your way south. Again, we'll kind of show you what this looks like here, but the abandoned village is going to be just on the other side of the mountain here, and eventually you'll be able to climb your way up and just run from that direction. And once you're up here, you just follow the cliffside all the way down. And again, the reason I say this is hard to find is because it's hidden in the grass, so like right here. So when you get to the edge, you'll be able to pick it up right here. Again, this is the view that you'll have when you make it up here. Our next token is going to be found on top of a tunnel. As we zoom in here, you'll see the exact location here on our map. It's going to be on this little pathway here. And once you get over here, we'll kind of show you what it looks like. There's going to be a chest down here below that you'll see, and this is a little pathway that leads into this tunnel. But what you can do is levitate onto these rocks. You can even climb onto the one here in front of us. And then I just flew across to this rock. And once you're up here where you can see down into the tunnel, right here on this rock is going to be your next Seeker's token. Our next location is going to be found at the end of that little tunnel that we showed you in the last one. As we zoom in here, we'll show you the exact location of this thing. But as you work your way through the tunnel that is over here, we are currently at the exit. When you go through, there is the entrance behind us. When you make it to the exit, if you climb up on the left side, there's going to be a chest up here. All you need to do is go all the way to the back, and right over here in the corner is going to be your next token. Number 78 is going to be found at the bottom of a waterfall. We'll zoom in and show you the exact location. It'll be pretty obvious once you get over here to around where this marker is. The waterfall is going to be right here. It'll be super obvious, but right here on the right side, there's going to be a rock that sticks up. All you need to do is climb up on top of that rock, and right here is where you will find your next Seeker's token. Number 79 is found on a rooftop of a small wooden building by a campsite. We'll show you on the map. This campsite is where you want to head to. And once you get here, you'll see a couple small buildings. We're going to get on the one right next to all the scaffoldings right here. And once you get up on top of this building, you will find your next token on the roof right here. Number 80 is going to be found over here by the Tro Mine exit right here. You see our markers located right here. If you make your way to where our arrow is, this is where you can actually make it into the mountain. So right where we're standing currently, you'll see there's a little split in the mountain where you can actually go inside towards the exit. And when you go inside, you're going to see to your left a little cave that you can go into. All you want to do is go into that cave and go all the way to the back. When you make it to the back, you're going to end up finding your next Seeker's token right here. Number 81 is going to be found over by a campsite. As we zoom in here, you guys will see that campsite's going to be found right here. And we're just going to be on top of one of the wooden buildings over here. So there's the Riftstone right in front of us. We're just going to get up on top of this building, and right over here, you will be able to find your next token. Number 82 is going to be found over by this small pond on your map. There's going to be a campsite over here. And if you make your way to this campsite, facing this direction, we want to climb up on the rock. So we can come over here. We're going to climb up on this rock and on this one. We'll get on the scaffolding here, and we're going to go up one more. So we can use levitate to get up here. And then all we want to do is get up on this rock here in front of us. So we can jump up here. And right here is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 83 is going to be found in Melve on the southwestern side on top of the guard tower. You guys can see we have it marked here on the map. And once you make it all the way up here right next to the ballista, you're going to find it on the back side. Your next token is going to be right here. Number 84 is going to be found on the western side of Melve. This one's going to be right over here by the water. You guys can see we're going to be outside the wall, and it's on top of the waterfall. So you guys can see we're right at the top of the waterfall, and right over here in the water next to some rocks is going to be your next token. Number 85 is going to be southwest of Melve, right in front of the waterfall down here by the water. You guys can see our exact location here on the map. And once you make it over here, you will find the massive waterfall. And this token is going to be found on the left side right over here on the rock. So you can come up close to the waterfall and you'll be able to get your next one right here. Number 86 is found just a little bit more to the southwest. This one's going to be found on top of a broken staircase. You can see this one pretty clearly on your map right around here. Once you make it over here, you do want to be careful. You will have several enemies in this area, but you just need to climb to the top of this broken staircase, and at the very end, you will find your next token. Number 87 is going to be found at the end of a very small pond. As we zoom in here, you guys will see it's kind of shaped like a moon. But once you make it back here, go to the very northern side of that pond, you're going to see a giant rock. All you need to do is go behind the giant rock, and over here in the water in the corner is going to be your next token. Number 88 is found up at the Sacred Arbor. You can see that here. And we're going to be over at Coe's Inn. So just make your way into the inn. When you get in here, this is what it's going to look like. The token is going to be up the stairs and on top of this pillar. So when you get to the top of the stairs, if you look to your right, you can jump across and land right here on this pillar. And your next token is going to be right here below us. You can go ahead and pick that one up, and that'll be your next one. 89 is also going to be found up here at the Sacred Arbor. This one's going to be on top of Eldart's Apothecary. So you guys will be able to see that. If you open up the local map, you can see it's going to be found right down here on the southern side. Getting up here isn't too difficult. All you need to do is go back in the way you came in and just go around the side. You can climb around the side of the mountain here. We're directly above the bridge to enter the Apothecary, and you'll see right here, you just want to be careful as you will slide down. Is going to be your next token. Number 90 is going to be found down by the mountain ruins. You can see right here is that marker on your map, and we're going to be on top of this one right where our marker is. Now getting up here is really easy. If you just approach from the northern side, you can just drop down on top of these, and we'll show you. We're standing up here currently. This is the mountain. So anywhere from the north side, you can come from any direction over there and just drop down onto the platform. But once you're up here, just go to the left side and run all the way to the end, and you'll see this one pretty easily. It's going to be right back over here on the corner. Number 91 is going to be found really, really close to our last one. As we zoom in here back over by the mountain ruins, this time we're going to be on top of one right where our marker is this time. So we're still standing at where the last one was. You can see on top of these structures. If you just turn around and look this way, you can already see the next one right here in front of us. You can just jump across, levitate your way across, and right here on the corner will be your next token. Number 92 is a little bit tricky. This one's going to be up on a small ledge along the path right where our marker is here. This one may take you a minute to find. Just place your marker down in this area. We'll try to show you. The main path is going to be right here below us. We're not too high up. We're not all the way up on top of the cliff. There's going to be a couple small trees up here. And once you're able to get up on this cliff, you will find the token pretty easily in the open here. So that's good. But right here is going to be where you can find your next token. 93 is going to be found at the end of the ravine at the entrance to the Dark Horde cave. You can see all you got to do is follow this path all the way through, and the entrance to the cave is going to be on your left. But instead of going inside the cave, as we approach it here, you can see the left is the entrance. You just want to go all the way to the back. So we can climb up on these rocks if you keep going straight, and right over here is going to be your next token. Number 94 is going to be just across a bridge right where you can see our marker here on the map. It's going to be right over next to a bridge that crosses the river right here. You can see we're standing on the bridge. You just want to be careful. There is a drake that hangs out over here on the path. When you cross the bridge, come over here to the right side, and you just want to follow these rocks up to the top. And once you get up here, you'll find your next token. Number 95 is found pretty close by. This one's going to be over here in front of a waterfall. So if you follow this little water path north from this path, you'll be able to just walk across the side. You can see once you get out here, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have the waterfall here in front of you. And on the left side of the waterfall, all the way up against the rocks, you will be able to find your next token. Number 96 is going to be found underneath a bridge that goes across the river here. As we zoom in, we're going to be on the western side of this bridge, right around where our marker is. You'll see it once you get over here. All you need to do is make your way underneath, and right over here on the beach, you will be able to find your next token. Number 97 is going to be found on top of a hill really close by to our last one, just off the main path. You guys can see our location here. And from over here on the main path, you'll be able to see it clearly. There's just going to be a hill on your left with a couple trees on it. Just make your way to the top of that hill, and in the back left on the rock, you will find your next token. Our next location is going to be found on a pretty massive rock just before you get to the Misty marshes, in between the pathways here, right around where our marker is here on your map. And once you make it over here, you'll see it pretty easily. A couple trees and a giant rock that you can just climb up on. Your token is going to be found right at the top of this rock. So you can come over here and you'll be able to pick this one up. The next few are going to be a little difficult to find as they're up here in the Misty marshes. The first one is going to be exactly where our marker is here on the map. So just get your marker as close as you can to where we have it here. And once you get out here, you're going to find a little creek area. You'll find some water and some trees. And what you want to do is look for the trees that are over here against the tall rocks. And right on the edge of the water on these small rocks right here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Our next token is going to be found over by Ildur's resting place as we zoom in up here in the Misty marshes. This one's a little easier to find. Once you get over here facing the noose that's in the middle, if you come over here to the left, you'll find it on the ground. It's going to be right over here in the shallow water. So you can go ahead and pick that one up, and that's going to be your next token. Number 101 is going to be found on the far northwestern side of the Misty marshes. This one's going to be inside, but it's going to be down near some broken columns. Now, though there will be several broken columns back here in this area, you want to look for the really long one. This is the longest one that's back here. The other ones are broken in half. And once you find this one at the marker that we've placed on the map, you just want to go to the left, and over here on the rocks, you will see on this rock in this little cutout in the mountain is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 102 is going to be found pretty close by. This is also going to be near the broken pillars. You can place a marker down right around here on your map. And once you make it over here, you'll find the half broken pillars on the ground here beside us. It's kind of hard to see. And then a staircase that kind of leads up into the mountain. And if you look up, you'll see there's some broken pillars that are sticking out of the rocks. You want to go up to the one on the top left, and you'll be able to climb up here pretty easily. And as you work your way towards this one sticking out on top of the rock, you'll find it pretty easily right here on the rock in front of it. So right here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 103 is a little easier to find. This one's going to be located at the abandoned home that's on the western side of the Misty marshes. And once you get up here, you're going to see next to the fire or the campsite is going to be a well. We want to get on top of the house that's behind the well. So we can levitate on top of this well here. And once we're here, we can just levitate across to the house. And you guys will see right here on the corner of the house is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 104 is going to be on the southwestern side of the marshes. So you guys can see our exact location here. This one's going to be on top of the mountain where there's actual daylight. So as you work your way this way, you'll be able to just climb your way up to the top. And once you get up here, this is what it's going to look like. Again, we're still inside the marshes. We just climbed our way up from down low around where our marker is located. Once you get up here, you'll find the skeleton right here in the middle, and right over here towards the end, you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 105 is going to be found directly above the Griffin's Nest that's on the southern side of the Misty Marshes. Now, to get to this one, you actually want to go south of the Misty Marshes, and you can just climb the mountain right here. And we'll kind of show you here. This one's actually really easy to climb up. As you can see, you pretty much just have a rock platform leading all the way up here from the bottom. But once you get up here and look over the ledge, you'll see the Griffin's Nest. Just be careful, the Griffin might actually be here. Right over here on the rock, right on the ledge here, is going to be your next token. Number 106 is going to be found just south of the Griffin's Nest where we got our last token. It's going to be just off the main path here. There's going to be a lot of broken stone walls. You can kind of see them right here. There's a chest over there on that rock. But to find our token, we're just going to get on top of this stone wall right here. So kind of look around so you can see which one we're on. But right here in the middle of this wall is where you're going to be able to pick up your next token. Number 107 is pretty close by. This one's going to be found at the base of a statue that's going to be up on this hill here. To get here, all you have to do is follow this path and it'll lead you straight to it. But once you get up here, you'll see another giant statue up on the hill. You'll have a chest that you can open on the front side. And then on the other side, you'll be able to pick up your token right here. Number 108 is going to be found up here by the Riftstone of the pattern. As we zoom in here, you'll see that Riftstone here, and there's going to be a path that kind of leads to this area up on the hill. And once you make it to this Riftstone, looking at it, what you want to do is follow this path all the way to the back behind the pond. There's going to be a small little path where you can go behind this giant rock and just follow this all the way back. And once you make it to the very back of that pathway right here behind the bush, you're going to be able to find your next token. Our next location is going to be right next to our last one at the Riftstone of the pattern. You can see our location here. For this one, you want to get up on top of the tower. Now, there's just one tower out here. You will find it pretty easily, just a giant circular tower. And you're going to climb your way to the top, which is super simple. But once you get up here, the token's actually going to be on the outside. So we're going to use levitate to fly to the other side. So we'll go ahead and levitate here. And you want to land right here on the wall. We'll land here, and then if you turn to the right, you'll see the token's going to be on a ledge that's over there. We can jump outside of it and land on this little ledge here. You can also probably do this from right here on these barrels. I'm not sure if you can climb up. I just know that you can do it from up top here. But once you get over here, you'll be able to pick up your next token. Number 110 is pretty easy to find. This one is going to be on the eastern side of this small little river right here. If you come right around where our marker is located, you're going to see this massive waterfall, and our token is going to be at the bottom on a rock. So if you jump down right by the river's edge, you'll be able to find your next token right here. Number 111 is going to be found on a small cliffside just off the main path. You guys can see our location right here, just off this pathway here. You'll just be able to climb up really easily. We'll show you what it looks like once you get up here. There's going to be a chest over there in the corner next to the tree that you can use as a marker. If you look to the right from the chest, right over here against the mountain, you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 112 is going to be found directly above the exit to the Guero Cavern. You can see that location here. We're going to be up top. This one's easy to get to. There's going to be a chest up here too. You can see the bridge right here. You just got to climb up on the back side. It's super easy to get up here. But once you're up here, you'll see the chest. What you want to do is go behind the chest. So we're going to jump over this and onto this little ledge here. And once you make it to this side, you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token right here on the ledge. Number 113 is going to be found on top of a giant broken bridge down here by this giant lake pond area. We're going to be on the southern side. You just need to follow this path all the way to the end, and you will find the bridge. It's broken in half. If you just go out to the edge of it, you'll find your next Seeker's token right here. Number 114 is going to be found really close by. This one's going to be along that same pathway. And when you get over here, you're going to find a bunch of broken stone walls. Our token is going to be on top of one of them. It's going to be the one that's right up here next to the mountain. And you can just climb up on this rock and run and jump across. And once you jump across, you'll find your next token right here on the corner. Number 115 is found right next to where we found our last one. This one's going to be on top of the waterfall that's just next to the bridge that connects these two pathways. And you'll see where we're standing. We're going to be up on top of the waterfall. There's the bridge. You can just walk your way across. This token's going to be in the water right before the water drops off. So you can see it right here in front of us on this rock. You go ahead and pick that one up, and that'll be number 115. Number 116 is going to be found on top of some ruins just east of the ancient battlegrounds. As we zoom in here, you guys will see we're going to be on the eastern side where all the ruins are. And what you want to do is climb up on top before you go through the gate. So you can see the gate to go out there right here. All you need to do is climb up on everything and get on the top level on the left side over here. And facing the gate, if you work your way towards it right here on the edge, is going to be your next token. Number 117 is going to be found in a broken tower on the northeastern side of the ancient battlegrounds. You can get up there by going through the entire castle and just coming along the side, or if you have levitate, you can come down this path and kind of sneak your way up here. Either way, once you get up here, you're going to find several towers and several enemies. You want to go inside the one that's broken. You can see a giant split in it. All we're going to do is go inside. If you work your way around the back, you'll find your next one right here in the corner. Number 118 is going to be a little bit of a pain to get to. This one's going to be found on a cliffside directly above the path that leads down to the rock wall berm. So you can see our location right here. You pretty much just want to go back here and climb up on these mountains and then work your way down, or over here. I think I ended up going way down here and climbing up and just working my way this way and then just jumped across. You can see though, we're going to be up on this rock. This is where I jumped down from. And yeah, there's several ways to get up here. You pretty much just want to climb up on top of the mountain. So just follow the edge until you can find a spot to climb up. Eventually you'll be able to get up there, and then you can work your way back over to where this path is. Again, we'll show you the location because this one's just a pain. But once you get up here directly above the path where the rock sticks out over the top, you'll be able to find your next token right here. Number 119 is going to be found in the castle north of the ancient battlegrounds. You can see our exact location here. We're going to be on the western side at the very top. So once you make it to the very top, you're going to come up this set of stairs right here at the entrance. This is what it's going to look like when you go up those stairs. What you're going to do is come over here and take a left and go up these stone stairs, and you're going to be in between the walls here. We're just going to go right over here. You'll see a blue flag that's knocked down, and right next to that is going to be your next token. Number 120 is also going to be found inside the castle just north of the ancient battlegrounds. As we zoom in, here's the castle. This one's going to be found in this tower right here on the southeastern side of the main structure. We're going to be in this tower here. So when you get up to the top, there's actually ladders that you can climb on the side to get up here. And there's a giant split in it you can see right here. But once you're up here, you want to drop down to the bottom. So we're going to drop down to this level here. And then we'll drop all the way down to the bottom. And once you're at the bottom, you're going to find the token back here somewhere. Hold on a second. I lost it. Where's it at? It's back over here behind the ladder. So you can land right here. You'll be able to pick up number 120. Number 121 is going to be found inside this secret room under the ballista on the western side of the ancient battleground. You can see the exact location here on your map. And this is going to be where the room is. Now, if you haven't already opened this secret room, it's pretty easy to do. You just got to go up toward the castle at the ancient battleground, and right in front of the castle before you go inside, on your way up the hill, there's a catapult. You can actually see it directly in front of me up on the hill. All you need to do is put 3 stones in the catapult. It'll automatically throw them for you. You just need to drop them in. All 3 of them will come over here and they'll break this open. But if you have already done so, you just need to go inside and you're going to find the token in the back right corner. So you can go ahead and pick this one up, and that'll be your next one. Number 122 is going to be north of the checkpoint rest town. This one's going to be on some rocks just off the main path. You guys can see our marker here on your map. And once you make it over here, you'll see this is going to be the pathway. If you come over here to the right side where all these rocks are, you can actually climb up on top of these. And right here is where you're going to find your next token. Number 123 is going to be found inside of a tunnel along the main path that you see here marked on your screen. You can't really see it on the map, but right here there's going to be a tunnel that you actually go through. You'll see we're facing the exit this direction. We came in right here behind us. But if you're facing the exit going this way, all you want to do is climb up on the big rocks that are going to be on the side. And up here in this weird shaped rock, you will find your next token. 124 is just northeast of the checkpoint rest town. This is one actually is going to be found right next to a bridge. So right around where our marker is, you're going to see this bridge right here. And you want to go to the side that's facing away from the checkpoint rest town. So like right over here. And then down in the water, right next to the bridge, you guys can see right here is going to be where you can pick up your next token. Number 125 is right in the middle of the checkpoint rest town. This one is going to be on top of the roof that's connected here with Celeste's smithy. So when you make it over here, what you can do is come to the back side of the building and you can just climb up right here. And once you're up here, we're just going to come all the way to the end and jump onto this platform. And right here on the corner is going to be your next token. Number 126 is also here in the checkpoint rest town. This one's going to be on the western side along the main path, and it's going to be on top of the giant archway that you're going to find right here on the path going up the hill. You can see we're already up on the mountain here. It's not too hard to get up here. All you need to do is climb up over here on the right side. You can pretty much just climb your way all the way to the top, and once you're up here, you can jump across or you can levitate your way across. But right over here on the end of the archway is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Our next location is going to be found west of the checkpoint rest town. This one's going to be on top of the mountain that you see marked on our screen, just south of the main path here. It's pretty easy to get up here. There's going to be a statue and a giant tree. Here's the waterfall, and here's the main path right below us. Normally you find the tokens on the statue, but this one's going to be found behind the tree and behind the chest. So if you come over here to the ledge, you're going to see these little white flowers, and you can drop down, and as we get closer, you'll see behind them is going to be our next Seeker's token. Number 128 is going to be found on the northwestern side of the map, again west of the checkpoint rest town. As we zoom in, you'll see that there's kind of a small path that leads up here. From here, if you just go north, if you're following the main path, super easy to find. You just got to climb up a couple rocks. But once you get up to where our marker is, you'll see some broken columns and stone walls. If you jump in here, you're going to find two chests, one on either side. But if you go behind the wall over here, you're going to find up on this rock is going to be your next token. Number 129 is going to be found at the Frontier Shrine. Here is the location for that. You just follow the pathway down here if you haven't already been down here. But this one's going to be found on the southwestern side on the cliff. So here is the altar. We come over here to the right side where the columns are. If you're really careful, you can drop down to this little cliff side, and then we're going to go all the way down here to the end. And right here at the end, you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 130 is going to be found above the waterfall on a cliff just northwest of the Frontier Shrine. We'll show you the location. It's going to be right here where this marker is. I think the easiest way to get up here is to come down here to the shrine, and then you can just climb up the mountain right here and just follow this path. It'll lead you straight to it. And this is what it's going to look like. We came from that direction where the shrine is. You can see the pillars. And then once you're up here, you'll see some chests here below us. And on this ledge, right up here in this corner, is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 131 is going to be found a little bit further south inside of a cave. This is going to be found exactly at our marker here. You guys can see our location. If you just come over here, you'll find the entrance to the cave. It's directly up there above us. It's pretty dark in here, so you're definitely going to need your lantern, but all you want to do is come all the way down to the bottom, and you can see the entrance is right up here above us. If you drop all the way down to the bottom, and there's going to be several enemies down here, if you go over towards the waterfall, you can see it here in front of us. Right here at the waterfall is where you're going to be able to find your next token, as well as a chest right here below us. Number 132 is going to be found on a cliff directly across from Baron's childhood home. You guys can see that right here. We're going to be right where our marker is. Getting up here is pretty easy. As you're coming south from the checkpoint rest town, you just work your way up the path along the side of the mountain here. So you just climb the rocks all the way across. You'll see a giant bush right here. And once you get over here, you'll see right here on the rock is going to be your next token. 133 is going to be just a little bit further south. This one's going to be on a cliffside overlooking the main path. The easiest way to get to this one is just to climb the ruins from the northern side and just levitate your way across. You guys can see this is what it's going to look like. We're not too high off the path here, but you can levitate your way up here pretty easily. I was able to get up here without issue. And right over here on this rock is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 134 is going to be just southeast of our last token. This one's going to be on the cliffside right where our marker is. Super easy to get to. You just need to come from the main path and you'll just be able to walk on the cliff all the way over here. Again, you'll see the main path is directly in front of us, and we just hopped up on the rocks and worked our way across. And right over here in the open, you will be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 135 is going to be on top of a rock directly across from a statue. You can see our exact location marked here on the map. This is what it's going to look like once you're up here. The statue is right here on the other side. So if I climb right here, you'll see the statue. is right here in front of us. We're going to be up on this rock, and you can climb up from right here below us. There's the main path. And once you're up here, you'll see right around the corner in the open on this rock is going to be our next token. Number 136 is going to be found really, really close to our last token. As we zoom in here, you're going to see it's going to be on the cliff side right here where our marker is. We were just right over here where the statue was, and I just levitated my way across. You guys will see we're on this rock here. There's the statue that we were just at, and I just came to the edge and levitated across above that tree and onto this rock right here. You see, you can also get up here just by climbing around the other side and walking your way over here. But right here is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 137 is going to be found close by. However, this one is going to be on the very bottom level. So essentially what you'll do is follow this little pathway here, and this will lead you to a whole bunch of enemies in this area. And then you can head back in a corner to be able to get it. And you can see this is what it's going to look like down here. And all you have to do is work your way into this really dark corner back here and go all the way to the back. And you'll see right here on the ground is going to be your next token. Number 138 is pretty easy to find. This one's going to be on the far western side of the map, just southeast of the Tomb of Tiglar. You can see our location here. And this one's going to be on a rock overlooking the river. Again, you can tell we don't really have to jump up too high or climb a lot of stuff. Just come over here on top of the rocks where our marker is, and you'll see right over here on this one is going to be where you can find your next token. Our next location is going to be on the other side of the river, just a little bit further south. You can see our exact location here. This one again is going to be up on a rock overlooking the river. You're going to have to climb a little bit more for this one, and you're going to have a lot of enemies over here, so do be careful. But you can see we're right here next to the river. You can just come over here and climb up a couple of these rocks. And right up here on this platform is where you're going to be able to find our next token. Number 140 is going to be found a little bit further east. This one is going to be again on a rock overlooking the river. However, we don't have to do too much climbing for this one. So just mark your map right around here, and you will see it's going to be right here in the middle of this platform. But as you look around, it's really not too difficult to get up here. You can pretty much just walk up here. But one good way of telling where to go is you can see the bridge right there in the distance. So if you line this up where you can see the bridge and then look down, you'll just see right here on the ground is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 141 is also close by. This one's going to be found in a tent, so it's pretty easy to get to. It's going to be right here where our marker is, just off the path here, and you will find it pretty easily. Here is the bridge that we just got for our last one. And directly across that bridge up on the rock right here, you'll find one single tent, and inside of this tent is going to be your next token. Number 142 is going to be found right across the river from our last one. This one's going to be on top of a stone pillar right in the middle of all of these trees. It'll be super easy to spot as it's just a giant rock platform, and you can just climb to the top of it pretty easily, not too difficult at all. And right on top, you will be able to find your next token. Number 143 is going to be found on the cliff side right over here next to this small path, and it's pretty close to this campfire. It's just above it on this side of the path. There's going to be another one further down that you can use to get to this, so it's actually not too difficult. You can see directly in front of us is going to be the campsite over there, and you just need to follow the rock wall all the way down until you get close to this campsite that's right over here below us. And right up here on the cliff, you're going to have a couple trees that are up here. Just work your way towards those trees. And right over here on the back is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Again, directly above this campsite here. Number 144 is going to be on a rock directly above the river, right here where our marker is on your map. This one's pretty easy to get to. Once you make it over here, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have a chest right here, as well as some goblins that try to attack you. But behind that chest, right over here on this rock, if you're going towards the river, you can see where this little sideways weird looking tree is. If you drop down right below it, right here is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 145 is going to be found inside of a Harpy's nest. As we zoom into the exact location on your map, you're just going to follow this path all the way up to the top. And it's going to be right over top of the Riftstone. So you can see the Riftstone is right here below us. We just climbed up on this rock here. And then if you come right over here and drop down on this ledge, you'll see this is going to be one of the nests. And inside of this nest is going to be our next token. Number 146 is pretty easy to find. This one's going to be directly above the Chimera's Den that's right here on our map. If you just follow this little pathway all the way to the end, you'll find the den right here. You can just climb up on the rocks. You'll see when you get over here, you can just climb up on this rock here and get up above it. When you go up above it, right here on the left side is going to be where you can find your next token. Number 147 is going to be on top of the Reverent Shrine. So as we zoom in, you guys will see the shrine is going to be located right here. To get on top, what you want to do is go to the left of the entrance. So we'll go all the way around to the back here. And you'll see in this dark corner back here, there's going to be a ladder. And this is going to take us all the way up to the top. So we will go ahead and climb this all the way up to the roof. And once you get up to the roof, we're just going to take a right and go back towards the front of the shrine. So we'll go all the way over here. We'll drop down a little bit. And then right here in this little pathway is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 148 is probably going to take you a little bit of time to get to. This one's going to be on top of a hill, on top of a really, really big goblin camp. You guys can see over by the Forgotten Ruins. You're going to be right around where our marker is, just south of this structure. And we'll show you what it's going to look like. We're going to be right up here on this rock. You can use the wooden bridges to get over here, and then you can just climb your way up. But there are a ton of goblins that hang out in this area all around this hill. So you're probably going to have to take out a whole bunch of them before you get up here. But once you get up here, right where this chest is going to be found in this tower, you'll see that our next token is going to be right here on this rock. Number 149 is going to be hidden in tall grass directly next to the path. So you guys can see exactly where our marker is going to be. It's pretty close to this campsite, but literally right where our marker is right here. This is what it's going to look like. And right here in this tall grass in front of us, pretty close to this dead tree, is where we're going to find it. So if you walk up to this tall grass, you're going to see it right here in front of me. So you'll be able to pick this one up right here. Number 150 is going to be at the top of a drop off. So it's going to matter which direction you come from here. We're going to be right where our marker is over here by this cool looking path, but you want to come from the western side. So it doesn't matter how you get down here. You just want to work your way around and come from this way because there's a drop off right here. And the token is found at the top of the drop off. Once you get up here, you'll see this is going to be the path that leads all the way up top. And then the drop off is right here. And then this is where you're going to be able to find the next token. Number 151 is going to be found at the entrance to the sealed mining shaft. As we zoom in here, this one's going to be found on some scaffolding right out front of the entrance, right around where our marker is. This is what it's going to look like at the entrance. What you want to do is come over here to the right side, and we're just going to go up this ramp that's right here in front of us and climb up onto this platform. Once you're on this platform, you'll find your next token right here in front of you. Number 152 is going to be found up on a hill. As we zoom in here, you guys will see the exact location. The easiest way to get up here is to follow this path up to this campsite, and then you can just jump across. And you'll see on the game here, this is what you want to look for, this little ruin area. And you can jump across from the campsite that's right over there. So pretty easily to make it across here. And then right over here in the back corner on this rock is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 153 is going to be on top of a rock directly across from a Riftstone. As we zoom into the map here, you guys are going to see this little black circle on your map is a Riftstone just across the way. And we're going to be right here on this side of the path. And we'll show you what it looks like. There is the Riftstone right over there. And you can just levitate your way up onto these rocks. And you'll find right here at the very top, directly across, you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 154 is easy to find and get to. It's going to be directly across from the Howling Cave. You can see the location of that cave right here on your map. It's going to be right around where our marker is on a small rock. So you guys can see this is the entrance to the cave. If we turn to the right and go down the path just a little bit, you're going to see a rock on the right side of the path. And right here on this rock is where you'll be able to find your next token. Number 155 is going to be found inside of a small cave. As we zoom into our map here, you want to head right here along the path where you can see these 3 trees. And there's going to be a small bridge right here as well that you can use as a landmark. But once you get over here, just follow the river into this cave. And when you go all the way to the back of the cave, you're going to find your token. Now you are going to have some enemies hanging out in here, so you will need to defeat them when you first enter. But if you go all the way back to where the waterfall is, you'll see in the back right corner is where you can find your next token. Number 156 is going to be found on a rock that's right next to the Riftstone of the Straight Ford. You can see if you follow this path all the way up, you will find the Riftstone. And right where our marker is where you're going to find the token. You can see the main path is right here below us. And all you're going to do is climb up some of these rocks. You can climb your way right up here. Right on this corner is where you will be able to find your next token. Our next token is going to be found on the northwestern side of the crumbling ruins. As we zoom in here, you'll see we're going to be right here. This one's super easy to get to. You're going to find a small set of stairs right over here in the corner. If you go up those stairs, right here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 158 is also pretty easy to find and get to. This one is going to be found by a statue that's going to be just south of the Riftstone of Robustness. You can see where our marker is here. Once you make it over here, you'll see the statue up on this rock, and your token is going to be found right here over on the front side of the statue. So you can go ahead and pick that one up. Our next token is going to be found inside the Tomb of Amarana, or right inside the tomb. This is going to be located right here on your map, and there's pretty much a hole that you can drop down into when you make it to this area. You guys can see it's a pretty big hole. You won't really miss this when you find it. You can just walk down from the rocks here. But once you're down here, this is going to be the entrance. You want to be extremely careful walking into this because the token is going to be found at the end of the first hallway here. But there is a drop off. Now, if you haven't been in here, this is going to look like a floor that you can just run across. However, it will drop down. And if you do fall, you can just work your way through. There's eventually going to be a ladder that brings you back up. But just be careful here. But you can work your way across, and right over here on the rock is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 160 is going to be found up on a cliff just east of the crumbling ruins. As we zoom in here, you'll see we're going to be just right here on this side of the path. And once you make it up here, you can see this is what it's going to look like. You can just climb the rocks down here, make it up onto this ledge. And right over here on this rock is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 161 is a little tricky to find. This one's going to be hidden in some tall grass right around where you can see our marker here. So if you place your marker right here and make it up on this hill where all the grass is, which is super simple, you just walk up here. What you want to do is use this big rock right here as your landmark. This is the easiest way to do it. This is how I did it. You'll see a giant rock right here with a bush on the corner. And then right up here, if you're facing it, it'll be on your right. You're going to find the token in the tall grass right here. See below us, we'll kind of look around to kind of help you for those of you that are trying to figure out where this is in the grass. But yeah, right here behind this giant rock in the tall grass is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 162 is going to be found in Battahl, and we'll go ahead and open up the local map. For this one, you're going to want to be on the far northwestern side over by the Grand Riftstone of Battahl. We're going to be on top of the stone pillar that's right next to it. Super easy to find. I'm already up here currently, but right next to the Riftstone is this pillar, and you can just climb up on these rocks and levitate your way across, and you will see directly beneath me on this pillar is going to be your next Seeker's token. Number 163 is also here in Battahl. We'll once again open the local map. This one is going to be found on the northwestern side, just above where the lift is. So you can see the Battahl Ropeway Station 1. Just put a marker on this little hill right here, and we'll show you what it looks like. We're going to be right behind the lift, so you can just climb up the rocks right here behind it. And right up here on these rocks in the back corner, you'll be able to find your next token. Number 164 is also here in Battahl. It's actually going to be right next to where our last one was on the northwestern side. For this one, you want to make it on top of the pillars. So compared to where our last one was, you're just going to work your way up the rocks a little bit further. And we'll show you that location. You can see we were just right here below where we're standing. We just climbed up the rocks a little bit higher to where all these pillars are. And the ones that are all connected right here is where we want to make it to. So there's a couple that aren't connected. There's a couple that are. And right up here on the ones that are connected at the very end is where you're going to be able to find the next token. Number 165 is in Battahl. This one's going to be pretty much right in the middle of the city, and it's going to be on one of the awnings that's over the market right here in the middle. So you can put a marker down right around here, and then climbing up here, definitely recommend using levitate, but you can just climb on top of the tents and then levitate your way up onto the awnings. But it's pretty much going to be on the highest one that's here in the middle. You can kind of levitate from awning to awning until you get to this one in the middle. And you'll see right here at the bottom on the side is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Our next token is also going to be in Battahl. This one is going to be way up on a cliff if we open the local map right around where your house is if you own one here in Battahl in the residential ward. As we zoom in, you'll see that you want to be on the cliff right around where our marker is. And the easiest way to get up here is to climb up over here where the mural byway is. So you can make it up on top of the mural and then you can just run your way across. We'll show you what it looks like. We are pretty high up above the houses. And if you look to our right over here where the mural was, we've already grabbed a couple tokens over there. You can just work your way back up top and then just run across and jump your way to the top. It's not too bad getting up here. But once you get to the very tip top, you will find the token right here on the ledge. Number 167 is going to be found on the far northeastern side of Battahl. As we go to the local map, you want to make your way over here toward the dye stores. And right where our marker is, there's going to be a fountain right at the end of this little pathway. We'll show you what that looks like. And all you want to do is go up to that fountain and jump into the water. And you'll see right in here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 168 is going to be found inside of the Flame Bearer Palace. We'll go ahead and go to the local map here, and you'll see that we're going to be on the far northern side, right where our marker is. Once you get in here, you'll be able to tell by seeing all the little candles together up at the top. All you want to do is go up towards those candles, and on the left, right over here behind this pillar, you'll be able to find your next token. Number 169 is going to be found on the far southern side of the Flame Bearer Palace. If we go to the local map, what you want to do is make your way down here to the Palace History Chamber. It's going to be a small building right here. It's got a marker so you can find it. But once you get down here, all you need to do is go up the stairs and go inside. We're going to take a left and go on this side of the bookshelf, and right over here on this box is going to be your next Seeker's Token. Number 170 is going to be found way up on a cliffside right next to the ocean here. As we zoom in, you can see our exact location where our marker is. To get here, you're going to have to approach from the north side. So you want to follow this path all the way down by the water on this beach area. And then once you get down there, you can cross right here. I just used my flying ability, my levitate. You can run across right here and make it to the other side. And then you can just climb up the rocks all the way up here, and eventually you're going to get to where you're going to find a Harpy's nest, which is right here in front of us. All you want to do is jump down on the other side of the Harpy's nest. You can see right over here. We can drop down, and right here in this corner is where you're going to find your next token. Number 171 is going to be found inside of a wagon that's on the shoreline. As we zoom in, just make your way to this location if you follow this pathway. And right on the beach, you will see a wagon that is half in the water, half out. And our token is going to be inside of that. So if you come around the corner here, you can go inside the wagon and you'll be able to pick up your next token. 172 is going to be found east of the Bay Wayside Shrine. This one's going to be up on top. So you can go inside and just follow the path to the right. That'll lead you outside so you can climb up top. And it's going to be found right here on the ledge over the water. When you get up here, this is what it's going to look like as you climb your way up. If you come over here to the ledge over the water and look down, you can see there's a small ledge you can drop down to. And right there is where you're going to be able to pick up the token. Just be really careful when jumping off that you don't fall, but you can pick the next one up right here. Our next token is a little sketchy to get to. This is going to be on a small path on the edge of the cliff here, just north of the Bay Wayside Shrine. All you need to do is come over here to the left side. You'll see where the path actually starts. You can follow the main path here and then just work your way up the mountain. And we'll show you there's going to be the huts as well as the campfire there. And you just climb up right over here. Not too difficult at all. But once you're up here, you're going to encounter a bunch of birds that have a really high likelihood of knocking you off as well as your pawns. So I highly recommend you get them to come backwards. So come over here and grab them and then run away and then fight them on level ground so you don't have to worry about getting knocked off. But once you take them out, just follow this path all the way down here. And right here on the ledge is where you're going to find your next token. Number 174 is going to be on top of a rock just to the west of the path that you guys see here. If you follow this path, you're going to find some buildings in this area, and you can follow another path that leads kind of up to this rock, and we'll show you how to get here. So we're standing on top of the rock now. You can see right back over here is going to be the little pathway. Do watch out. There is a griffin that hangs out around this area, so you might get attacked by it. You can see here are the huts. If you just work your way up the path from the little houses, you can come up here and go in between these rocks. And then all you need to do is go around to the back. And right here, you'll be able to turn around and you can use levitate to get up on this rock. And right here is where you're going to find your next token. Number 175 is going to be another one that's found up on a cliffside. As we zoom in here, you'll see that it's going to be on the left side of this small pathway right here. Getting up here, you want to jump up on the right side though, and we'll kind of show you as you come along this path. You can see right there, you can climb up and then work your way across right to where we are currently standing. And then once you're up here, we can just levitate our way across. So we'll go ahead and jump, levitate over to this little ledge. You can drop down right here, and right on this piece of grass is where you're going to be able to find your next token. For our next location, we're going to head way out to the western side of Battahl. You guys can see our exact location here. This is a really dangerous area, so just be careful on your way out here. You're going to run into several enemies as well as a drake that hangs out in this area. But right where our marker is, there's going to be a waterfall, and the token's going to be found on the right side of that waterfall. You can see that waterfall here in front of us, and then right over here on the right side is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 177 is going to be found at the base of a statue up on a mountain right over here next to Dark Beast's Den. You can see our exact location. It's right next to the Forgotten Riftstone. To get up here, you're going to have to come over here to the western side of the river. You can actually follow this little path over here, and then you'll need to cross one of these bridges to get up here, or you can levitate across the river. It is kind of a pain in the ass though, but the campsite over here, you can see behind us, going to be right over there, and then the bridges are further down, or like I said, you can just levitate across. But once you make it over here, you're going to find a statue and a chest, and the token is going to be right here on the front of the statue, so you can go ahead and pick that one up. Number 178 is pretty close to our last location. If you just follow the path south, you can see we're going to be right over here. It's actually just across from this bridge up top. And once you make it over here to where our marker is, you're going to see a wooden structure just on the other side of the bridge here. Our token's going to be found behind this structure. So if you come over here, just be careful not to fall off the ledge. Right back here in the corner is going to be where you can find your next Seeker's token. Number 179 is going to be found on the other side of the bridge where we just got our last token. As we zoom in, you'll see we're going to be right here on this side of the bridge. And once you make your way over here facing that wooden structure, we're just going to drop down on the left side, and you're going to see a chest right here below us. You can go ahead and drop down to where that chest is, and then if you go over here behind it on this rock under the bridge, you'll be able to find your next token. So just be careful not to fall off, and you can get your next one right here. Number 180 is going to be found in a harpy's nest on a cliffside. We'll zoom in to show you the exact location of that nest. But the way to get up here is going to be a little bit north, as you're just going to climb the mountain up here, and then you can follow the pathway along. Kind of show you, as you can tell, you can climb up the rocks right here below us. You'll be able to get up here pretty easily. And then once you're up on this cliff, we're going to have to levitate across. So we can jump and levitate right over here to these rocks, and then you can drop here just to be safe. Then we can jump across over here. And then you'll have several items that are up here. You can get some gold. This one, you get some stuff in here, and then you want to go all the way to the back, and this nest is going to have the token. Number 181 is pretty easy to get to. This is going to be way down here at the very end of this path, just above the bandit hideout. There's a little cliff that you can climb up on from multiple different ways, super easy to get to. But right at the end of this path on the top of the cliff, you can see you can climb up right here, right before you go into the bandit camp. But just follow the little ledge all the way down to the end, and over here in the corner on this rock, you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 182 is going to be found behind the Riftstone of Duty. As we zoom into this one, you'll see that we're just going to follow this path. Just off the main path, you'll have a smaller one that leads right to the Riftstone. And once you're out here, all you need to do is go behind it. So right over here where this broken column is, you're going to have a chest, and behind that chest is where you're going to be able to find your next Seeker's token. Number 183 is going to be found in a temple on the southwestern side of Battahl. As we zoom in, you'll see this location here, pretty easy to spot. And it's going to be on the outside wall, but to get to that, we're going to go inside. So we'll go all the way up to where the chest is, and then we're going to turn right and go on the outside wall here. And you will see there's a spot we can jump over. And right over here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 184 is going to be found behind the temple that we just got our last token at. It's going to be on a cliff just above the tomb of Janua, right here where our marker is. And you can see the temple that we were just at right here in front of us. You're just going to run along the rocks here and continue down this direction. And right over here on this rock is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 185 is going to be found directly across the path from our last token location. As we zoom into this one, you'll see that we're going to be across the pathway here, and it's going to be on a small cliffside right here. And you can actually see the Riftstone from here. The Riftstone is going to be right over there, as well as the campsite. We're going to be on the cliff directly across from it. You can climb up the rocks right here beneath me. And once you get up here, tucked away in the corner, you will find your next token. Number 186 is also going to be found on a cliffside just a little bit further south. For this one, what you want to do is take the path on the right side. So you're going to take this path all the way down, and it's going to lead you right to the cliffs here. You can see we're looking at that path. When you get down here to this location, you're just going to jump up on the rocks. And then you're going to come right over here and you're going to be really careful not to fall. We're just going to drop down a couple levels. And you'll see right here in this corner is where you're going to be able to pick up your next token. Our next location is going to be found on a much smaller cliff just off the main path. You can see our exact location right here. Just make your way over here to this path and you'll be able to just climb up on a couple rocks to get here. And this is what it's going to look like. There's several trees in the area, super easy to climb up. But once you get up here, you're just going to turn around and come right over here. And on this rock is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 188 is going to be found near a campsite. However, we actually need to go further up a path to get to it. So it's going to be right around our location here on a cliff right next to the campsite. However, to get this one, you want to follow this path all the way up the hill until you're directly above it, right around where you can see my arrow. And once you get up here, a good landmark is the giant column that's sideways down the hill here. This is going to be where you want to head up here. And we're just going to drop down next to it. So we're going to drop down onto this little pathway, I guess you could call it, right down here. And then if you come right over here in the corner in the grass, you will find your next token. Number 189 is going to be found on a cliffside pretty close by to our last one. We'll show you the location of the token with our marker. And you want to climb up where all the broken columns are. So you can see our arrow currently, and I'll show you what it looks like. When you get up here, you'll see some really tall columns. One is standing, one is on the ground. If you come back over here to the one that's fallen down, you can actually climb up or levitate your way up top here to where the tree is. And there's a chest up here that you can get to. But once you open the chest, if you keep going all the way back along the cliff here, you will see all the way in the back corner behind the grass here is going to be where you can find your next token. Number 190 is again going to be on a cliffside way up above the path. Here is the location for that one. What you can do is you can go all the way up to the top here and then just drop down. This is probably the easiest way to do it. Or if you have levitate, you can come right here to where I'm looking. My arrow is looking. There's a staircase right here. We'll kind of show you there's the staircase as you can go up. There's also a broken column and you can jump on that broken column and just levitate your way up right here and then levitate up to this level. But once you get up here, you're going to find the token right over here in the corner in between the rocks. You guys can see it's going to be found right here. Number 191 is going to be found on top of a pillar just on the side of the path. We're going to zoom into this one. You can see the exact location of the pillar. Now, once you get over here, you'll see this is the pillar right here. It's directly across from one that's extremely small on the ground. And the way I got up here was I got on the small pillar there and I just levitated across onto this rock and then levitated up. I believe you can also go all the way up and just get up where my pawns are and just walk down from there. Either way, when you get over here, you'll see on top of this pillar right here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Our next token is going to be found at Dragon's Breath Tower. This one's a little tricky to get to as it's going to be just outside of the entrance to the tower. But once you get up here, here is the entrance and the stairs. If you come over here to the left side and look down, the rock that's directly below us, you can see the token right there. But getting down there is a little bit tricky, obviously, because we don't want to fall to our death. What we're going to do is go inside. I'm going to go ahead and levitate my way across to here. Once we're here, we're then going to drop down onto this pillar. You might take a little bit of damage. You could try to levitate if you want, but right here is going to be the spot that we're going to get to. Once we're here, we're going to go out on the ledge, come over here and drop down on this rock. Once we're on this rock, we then want to just slowly work our way down. So we're going to try to just levitate right over here. You guys can see we took a little bit of damage. I tried to levitate right before we landed. Didn't really work out. But now that we're here, we just need to go a little bit further and I have plenty of health. So I'm just going to drop off. Didn't take any damage there. And then right here on the rock is where you'll be able to get the token. Just make sure you have full health before attempting getting down here as it can be a little bit tricky. Number 193 is going to be found by the Riftstone of Daybreak. As we zoom in on the map here, you're going to see there's going to be a tower up here at the end of this path. And this token is going to be found behind the tower on the left side in the tall grass. So as we work back here, you'll see this really tall patch of grass. Just work your way back towards the middle of it and look around. And eventually you will see right here is where you're going to be able to pick up your next token. Number 194 is going to be found on a cliffside directly above a bridge that's right here in the bandit camp. You can see our marker is going to be where the token is located. We're standing right beside it and you can see it's going to be right here on this cliff. We're directly above this bridge. What you want to do is just cross the bridge and you can just levitate onto the wooden stands over there and then onto the rocks and just climb your way up around the back of this until you get up on top of this giant rock. And then literally right here on the very edge of this cliff is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Our next location is going to be towards the end of the bandit camp that we got our last token at. What you want to do is make your way up the path, and right around here we can go out on the edge of the cliff and work our way to the next token. So you can see our location here, and it's going to be near a statue. Here's the main path, and here's where you can actually climb up on the rocks and work your way up. I give a high five to my pawn here, and then if we climb up, you'll see that the statue is going to be directly above us, but we want to go down below. So if you look right here, there's a little drop off that we can drop down to. When you drop down, just follow the rocks all the way down to the end. And right here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 196 is going to be found along the same exact pathway that we used to get number 195. Now the location of the token is right where our marker is, but we're still standing back over here. Here's the tower. We're standing back where we just got the last token. So all we're going to do is follow the cliff all the way to this token. And there's going to be a chest in between. You'll see we're standing kind of over here just off the main path. Once you get over here, we can again just climb up top or levitate your way up top. Here's where the chest is going to be. And if you just keep going, just follow the rocks all the way across. Eventually, you're going to get to an end where you'll be able to find another token. So you can see if we go all the way down here to the end, right here is where you're going to be able to find your next one. Our next token is going to be found along the water's edge behind a giant boulder where you guys can see our marker here on the map. This one's pretty hard to miss. Along the main path here, you guys will look to the right. Over in the water, you'll see a giant boulder hugging the mountainside. All we're going to do is go up behind this boulder. So if we go right over here, jump across, you will see on the back side of this thing is where you're going to find your next token. The next token is going to be found on top of the giant rock that's right next to the campsite that you guys can see right here on your map. The giant rock is going to be right here, and you will see the campsites there. The token is here. To get up here, it seems impossible from next to the campsite. All you need to do is go back down the path a little bit. And as you work down the path, you guys can see you can climb up right over there and just climb your way up the mountain. And once you get up here, just go all the way over to the side close to where the campsite is. And right here is where you'll find your next token. Number 199 is going to be found kinda inside the cave that's right around where our marker is. As you follow this path, you go into a really small cave. And there's actually a little spot where you can go out and get a chest right here. So if you come right around here on your map, you guys will see this is going to be the little opening that's in the cave as you're passing through. And there's going to be a chest right out here on the ledge that you can get. It's right here, as you can see. But behind us, there's going to be a taller rock that we can actually levitate up to. Or you can climb up right over here. But once you make it up top, you'll see right here is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 200 is going to be found inside of a small broken tower that's just against the mountainside right around where our marker is. It's going to be directly across from where the golem is. So you can see he spawns right up here. The tower is going to be right here. It kind of blends in with the mountain. But if you get up on this rock right here, if my pawn will get out of the way, we can jump and levitate our way into it. And once you make your way in here, you'll see right here below me is where you're going to be able to get your next token. Number 201 is pretty easy to find and to get to. It's going to be found on a rock that's down by the water. You can see exactly where our marker is here. You can just jump down the mountain from the main path, just work your way down without falling too far. You can see we're pretty far down, but we're going to be right over here by the water. And then you can just climb up right here where my pawns are climbing up. And right here on top of the rock is where you're going to be able to find the next token. Number 202 is also pretty easy to find and get to. This one's going to be on top of a broken down wall right around where you can find our marker here on the map. And this is what it's going to look like. Once you get over here, you'll see some ruins. All you're going to do is come over here to the right side, and we're just going to jump up on this small wall. And you can already see the token from ground level. But all you need to do is jump up here. You'll find the token right there. Number 203 is going to be on a cliff beside the volcanic island camp. As we zoom in here, our marker is going to be where the token is. You want to make your way into the camp. So I'm going to show you guys exactly where we're at on the local map. It's going to be on the western side right here. And when you make your way over here, you're going to find a white tent. This is what you want to look for, is this white tent. And once you find it on the back side, if you come over here to these rocks, there's going to be a spot where we can jump over this rock. We'll go ahead and levitate over, and you will see right back over here in this corner is where you're going to be able to pick up your next Seeker's token. Number 204 is an easy one. This one's going to be just west of the volcanic island camp. As we zoom in here, it's going to be on top of this rocky hill. And you'll see all you have to do is follow this path up, and you'll be able to get up here pretty easily. You can see right here behind us is the camp. You can go right through the door, follow that pathway all the way around, and it's going to lead you all the way up here. And you'll see this really cool stone structure when you get to the top of the hill, and right here in front of that is going to be your next token. Number 205 is going to be found inside the volcanic island camp, and this one's going to be found directly behind the armory. So you can see we have the armory marked on our map right here. And once you make it back here, super easy to get to. Just go over to the right side behind this tree. You can actually walk behind the armory, and all the way in the back corner is where you're going to find the next token. Our next token is in the volcanic island camp. This one's going to be on the southern side by the geyser hamlet. There's going to be a giant pillar right here that the token is going to be on top of. You can see the hamlet's to our left. The pillar is right there. And all you need to do is work your way behind the hamlet over here. You can just follow this path up the mountainside. And once you're up top, all we're going to do is get on top of this thing so that we can jump across. So we're going to get as close as we can, go all the way down to the ledge. And then we'll go ahead and jump and levitate across and fall and hope that we don't fall to the ground. And once you land here, you'll be able to pick up your next token. Number 207 is going to be found on a cliffside. It's going to be right here on your map. This one's not too difficult to get to. There's going to be a broken down pillar, it looks like, right here, and the token's going to be on this hill. You can see the main path is going to lead right this direction across the bridge. You can climb up from right here below me, just on these rocks. You can just levitate your way up, or you can go all the way around the back and climb up and then just drop down over here. But right here on the middle of this cliff is where you're going to be able to get your next token. Number 208 is going to be found inside of the excavation site. As we zoom in, what you want to do once you get here is follow this pathway all the way up to where it ends. And there's going to be a house up here as well as a scaffolding. The token is going to be on top of the scaffolding. So if you make it to the end of this path, you'll see the house right here. There's going to be a tower with a ladder. There's a couple different ways to get up here, but this is how I did it. Climbed up this ladder, and then I jumped out and then levitated across to the scaffolding that's right here. And once you get up on this scaffolding, right here is where you're going to be able to find the next token. Number 209 is going to be found just north of the volcanic island camp. You can see our marker here on the map. It's going to be on a cliffside directly across from this bridge right here. So if you cross the bridge, you guys will see that's going to be right here below us. All you need to do is come right here below where I'm standing and climb up on the rocks. You'll find a couple chests up here. And then if you come right over here onto this little ledge, you go all the way down to the end and you will find our next token. Number 210 is going to be found on top of the tall pointy rock that's just next to the Riftstone of Perseverance. You can see the location here. Just make your way to this Riftstone and you guys can see the tall pointy rock that's literally right here beside it. All we need to do is climb up to the top of that thing. So we'll go ahead and levitate up. You'll see right here on top is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 211 is going to be found by the beach. It's super easy to find. However, you do want to be careful as down here there is going to be a drake. So you want to try to avoid him. But right here where our marker is where it's going to be found. We're just standing on the beach looking at the drake. Facing the water, all you want to do is go left over here. So you're just going to come right over here along the beach into this back corner. And right over here in the sand is where you're going to be able to find the next token. Number 212 is going to be found on a small pillar right up here on this little island. You can see our marker right here, and there's going to be a chest when you make it up here. You can see this is the chest that you open. If you just look just to the left of the chest, we can get on top of this pillar right here. So we're going to jump up and levitate, and you will see that on top of this pillar is where you're going to be able to pick up the next Seeker's token. Number 213 is going to be found on the side of the giant stone archway that you can find right here. And we're going to be on the southern side of that archway. So if you're facing this side of the bridge, here is the archway. We're going to go over here to the right side and just carefully walk around the edge. Go right over here, and then just to your left, you can jump over and you'll be able to pick up the next token. Now, all of our remaining tokens are all going to be found in caves and caverns around the map. We're going to start up at the Guero cavern where we have 2 tokens. We'll go ahead and zoom in on the cavern here. If you don't know, there's going to be 2 entrances. And we'll go into the local map here so you can see it's a pretty small cavern. The first one is going to be found right where you can see our marker. It's actually right next to a ladder to climb up to go this direction, but right around where our marker is here, we'll show you the ladder is going to be right here. And then right beside the ladder on this rock over here in this corner behind where my pawns are going crazy is where you're going to be able to pick up your next token. So right here on this rock. Number 215 is also going to be found inside the Guero cave. We'll open up our local map here. This one is going to be found right over here on this side. You can cross the bridge right here to get over here. And this one's super easy to find. When you get over here, you just go inside. You'll see a giant rock wall. And right in front of those rocks is going to be your next token. Number 216 is going to be found inside of the Gracious Hands vaults that's over in the slums of Vernworth. We'll show you the entrance right over here. And once you make it over here, I'm going to go ahead and open up the local map. We're going to be in section 2F. So when you first go down, you'll be in 1F. You'll spawn in right here. When you jump down into the vault, you're just going to travel your way around right over to where we're standing here, and that'll put you in 2F. And right here, before you go up the stairs, you can see the stairs are right here in front of us. You're going to turn around, and this is where you'll jump up. And we're just going to go around the back side here. If you come all the way around to the back, you will see right here in the floor is where you're going to be able to pick up your next token. Number 217 is going to be found underneath the Vernworth Castle. This one's going to be found at the Vernworth Castle Jail Tower, which is right here where our marker is. If you open up your local map, it's actually going to be marked in game, and it'll say it right here. But once you make your way over here, there's going to be a well that's right next to it. You can see right here is the tower, and right next to it is going to be a well that has a ladder. What you want to do is work your way down that ladder. So we'll go ahead and go to the very bottom of this thing. And once you're at the bottom, what we're going to do is go all the way to the end. You're going to have two tunnels. You want to go to the second tunnel on your right, and then go all the way to the end where you see the bars. And right here is where you will find your next token. Number 218 is going to be found inside of Trembling Hollow. We'll show you the exact location of this cave if you haven't already been here. There's one side here and the other side's over here. It's probably the easiest way to enter, as you have a little path you can follow to get to the entrance. But once you are inside, we'll show you the local map. The first floor is going to look like this. It's pretty small, but there's one section outside, and you want to make your way to this outside section that's pretty much in the middle of it. And there's actually going to be a second floor. So once you get out here, what you can do is come over here to these rocks on the back side. And we're just going to climb up these rocks. And as you get higher up, you will notice there's going to be a giant boulder that is right here. And you can actually destroy it super easily. And once you do, you'll be able to go inside. There's just like a smaller second floor up here. But once you're up here, all you want to do is come over here to the right side. We're going to go all the way to this back corner, and right here in this pile of bones, you're going to be able to find the next token. Number 219 is going to be found inside of the Coastal Cavern. You guys can see the location for that right here on your screen. It's going to be right on the water's edge down here to get inside. It's a pretty small area. If you open up the local map, our token is going to be found in the back right around where our marker is. It's going to be under some eggs. So you guys can see I've already destroyed the eggs, so it's just right out here in the open. But you'll just need to destroy some of the eggs right here, and then you'll be able to come over here and pick it up. Number 220 is going to be found inside of the Underbridge Grotto. We'll zoom in to show you the exact location here. You can enter that right over here. And once you make your way inside, we'll open up the local map. We're going to be on the top left side. So right up here, it's a pretty small area. Right up here in this circle, it'll be pretty obvious. Once you get up here, there'll be a chest. And right over here to the right is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Our next three tokens are all going to be found together within the Twilight Cave. We'll show you the exact location here on your map if you don't already know how to get to this one, but it's going to be located just off the path right here. And once you make it, we're standing at the front of the cave. The first thing you're going to do is just go inside and go to your left. It's a pretty small cave, so it's pretty hard to get lost. We're going to work our way back outside, and there's going to be two tokens up here. One is going to be to your left. Immediately after getting to the top of the ramp, you're going to find it right here on the ledge. The second one's going to be directly behind us in this Harpy's nest. So right here in this nest is where you're going to get number 2. And then number 3, we're going to work our way back down into the cave on the other side. And we're going to drop down into a trench that's down here. So if you go all the way back here, you can see there's a little trench we can drop down into in this hole. And right here in the middle is going to be your third token in the Twilight Cave. Number 224 is going to be found inside of the waterfall cave on the northeastern side of the map. You guys can see the entrance to that is going to be found right here. If you follow this path, it'll lead you right to it. Now, once you're inside, this is what it's going to look like. What you want to do is work your way down the main path here, and you're going to come all the way over here to the right side. And right here, you'll be able to climb up, and that's going to take you to section 2F. Now, when you climb up, all you need to do is go around the corner here and go down this really small little path. You're going to end up in this little circle area in 2F. And once you get back here, it'll be pretty easy to spot just at the very end of the path, right up here next to the rocks. You'll be able to find your next token. Number 225 is also going to be found inside of the waterfall cave, and it's also going to be found in section 2F. So you're going to take the exact same path. And as our last one was right here, our next one in here is going to be all the way down here on the end where our marker is. And once you get down here, you're going to notice that it's a drop off. It's kind of just a really steep, like you just don't want to jump down. There is a ladder here that you can go down. But instead of going down, what we're going to do is come right over here. You're going to see some boxes. You can destroy these boxes, and right behind them on this rock is where you're going to find your next token. Number 226 is going to be inside of the Forgotten Tunnel. There's two ways in. The entrance is right here where our marker is. There's also a back entrance right here. If you've already been through it, you can go back this way, but this is the main entrance. And once you go inside, this is going to be found in the middle section. So this is what it's going to look like. There's a big open area right here in the middle. It's going to be on top of an archway. When you come inside, what you want to do is work your way up top. There is going to be a monster up here you want to be careful of, obviously. But once you get up top here, you're going to be able to fly across, or you could just jump across to these little structures. There's one here. There's a second one here. If you jump over here to this third one, you will find your next token right here. Number 227 is also going to be found inside of the Forgotten Tunnel. And when you make it here, this one's pretty close by. This one's going to be found on the southern side. So when you're in the middle area, just come down this direction. Right around here where our marker is, you are going to find some stone steps that lead down. And right over here in this corner on this little structure, you're going to find your next token. Number 228 is going to be found inside of Rock Wall Berm. Now, if you don't know this location, we'll zoom in. It's going to be along this path here, so you can just kind of follow either one, and it's going to lead you right up here to this location. And you can go inside. This is a pretty small area. In fact, it's very small. And the token is going to be found right around where our marker is. Super easy to find. When you make it to the back, you're going to see the chest in front of you. All you need to do is turn to your left, and right over here on this rock is where you'll be able to find your next one. Number 229 is going to be found inside of the World's End Cavern. This is going to be the location for those of you that don't have this one. It's going to be found over at the ancient Battleground. You just need to work your way all the way to the top of the castle, and if you go behind it, you'll find the entrance right here. And once you go inside, this one is going to be found pretty much right in the middle. You can see this is where our location is going to be in the actual cavern in this little open area, and it'll be easy to spot. Once you get in here, it's going to be over here on the side on top of a rock, and it'll be glowing a little bit, so you'll see it pretty clearly once you walk in here. But that's going to be your next one. Number 230 is going to be found inside of the Wind-Worn Gully. If you don't already have this location on your map, it's going to be found right here. And if you work your way up this pathway, you can see there's kind of a small path that you can kind of just follow that leads right down to the entrance on the mountainside here. But once you make it inside, it's a really, really small area. You just need to make it all the way to the back corner where you can see our marker. And underneath some eggs, it's going to be found right in the middle. So it's not going to be this obvious when you get back here. You have to destroy some eggs that are in the middle. And once you destroy those eggs, you'll be able to pick up your next token. Number 231 is going to be found inside of the Dark Beast's Den. You guys can see the location for that den right here on your map. Not too difficult to get to off of any of these paths. If you just run back here, you'll find it pretty easily against the side of this mountain. But once you go inside, it's extremely small, and our token is going to be found right here on the southern side. So right around where our marker is, and it's not too difficult to find. It's going to be on the rock right in the middle of all these eggs. So you can run over here, and this is where you're going to find your next one. Number 232 is going to be found inside of the Tomb of Algudo. So you guys can see the location for that tomb right here. This is going to be the entrance, and there's a little path that you can follow along the side of the mountain to get here. It's not too difficult. But once you make it over here to the tomb, all you want to do is go straight. So right here is where the entrance is. You're just going to go straight back. It's a pretty difficult area, so just be prepared. But once you enter, if you just go all the way to the back, just heading straight, you will find the token in the corner up against the rocks right here. Number 233 is going to be found inside of Straggler's Cave. This is pretty close to back Battahl. The entrance is going to be just off the path right over here on the cliffside. Pretty easy to find. Once you make it over here, again, not too big of a cave. You just want to make your way all the way to the back. And right over here on the right, when you make it inside, you're going to see this scaffolding right here with a ladder. We're just going to take a right, and right back over here on this rock is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 234 is going to be found inside of the Forbidden Magic Research Lab here in Battahl. And if you pull up the local map, we're going to be in the B1F section. We're going to be pretty much right in the middle down here where the giant dragon statue is. Now this token is going to be found next to the dragon's head. So you can see the statue here. We're just going to jump on up and you'll see the token right here next to the head. Number 235 is also in the Forbidden Magic Research Lab. This one is going to be in the big circular room. If you open up your local map and go to B1F, we're going to be right in the middle of this circle here on the very bottom at the refuse storage. And you'll see that when you get to the bottom, there's going to be a huge corpse right here in the middle of the room. And the token is going to be right up here next to that corpse. Number 236 is going to be found in the Forbidden Magic Research Lab as well, and this one is going to require a jail key. So if you don't already have one, buy one or craft one. And we're going to head all the way up here on this side at the jail, and what we want to do is get into the cell, the third one from the left. So you guys can see our marker here. This is the one you want to go inside of. When you get over here, you can go ahead and open this up. Go ahead and open that cell. And we're going to have a little cutscene because I'm still on the candle quest. But once you open this up, we're going to go inside, and on the table in the back right, you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 237 is going to be found at the Dragon's Breath Tower. This is going to be in the far southwestern side of the map. This one is going to be on the very, very top of the tower where you're going to find the dragon. And right when you go up this stairs, it's going to be on the sides. You can see the staircase leading up here. If you jump up on this ledge and then come all the way over here to the end, you're going to find your next token right here. Number 238 is also going to be found on the top of the Dragon's Breath Tower. Again, this is on the very top where the dragon is going to be located, and you're going to have to jump across to a pillar. So we'll show you here. We're standing up where the dragon initially spawns at the top of the stairs. And if you come right over here where the chest is and look on the back side on this pillar directly across from us is where you're going to find the token. So we can jump off and levitate our way over here. And then once we're over here, you'll see right up here on this pillar is where you're going to be able to find your next token. Number 239 is going to be found inside the mountain base cave on the far southern side of the map. You guys can see the location for that cave right here. And when you make it to this cave, what you want to do is make it all the way up to section 3F. So this is going to be the top of the cave after you've already worked your way completely through. We're going to have two tokens up here. In fact, our last two tokens are up here. Our first one is going to be right here where our marker is. And if you don't know how to get to this section from the main area, once you come up the stairs to section 3F, you can actually jump across right here. And this is what it's going to look like. Once you get up here, you can jump across to this section here. And once you're up top, just follow this little corridor all the way to where the drop off is. But instead of dropping off, you're going to see our token right here on this rock. Our 240th and final token is also going to be found here in the mountain base cave. This is going to be found in the exact same section as our last one, which is going to be here in 3F at the very top of the cave. This one's going to be found right over here at the end of this pathway. Again, you're going to have to make a little jump to get to it. But once you're up top, you guys can see there's going to be a little corridor back here that you can go in. And right over here, we're going to jump our way across. There's going to be a chest right here on your left. And your final token is going to be right here on the rocks. But this is how to find all 240 Seekers tokens here in Dragon's Dogma 2. Hopefully this video helps some of you guys out. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.